had a small bakery with Elra and Alina. Elra, my elder daughter, was an innocent girl with a soft heart and blonde hair. She believed every story, and every stranger's smile felt like the truth. Alina, my little daughter, was not only kind, but also exceptionally wise. You could see it in her eyes, in her gentleness was hidden wisdom. Every morning, they woke up before the sun rose. Aaron kneaded the dough, and Alvarado made butter from fresh milk. Then, together, they baked sweet cakes and warm rolls that filled the entire village with their aroma. Their mother was very quiet, always caring for the animals, and tending to the herb garden near the kitchen window. Alina's cakes were famous, beautifully decorated with flowers and fruits. People said, "It's a blessing to taste her cakes." And the butter was just as wonderful. But most days passed quietly, half like a dream, half like a memory fading with time. Life was peaceful until one morning. When the birds began to sing and the night faded away, Aaron said softly, "I will go to the city today and bring some goods." "Be careful, my son," said Elra. Both sisters nodded, smiling in support. They worked all day, serving customers with kindness and laughter. When evening came, and the forest glowed with golden light, he went to meet his father. On his way, an old woman appeared from behind a tree. "My dear boy," she said, "would you carry this basket to my house? It's not far, my bones are weary." Aaron hesitated, but her voice was so gentle and sweet that he agreed. He followed her into the deep forest. The path grew confusing, the air colder. Leaves rustled, and the wind carried whispers. Then, suddenly, they came upon a crowd of sheep hidden beneath the trees. The old woman's eyes gleamed strangely. "Thank you, my dear," she said, smiling. "You will work for me now." The door behind them shut with a loud thud. She was not an ordinary woman, but a wild witch. Elaine was imprisoned by the witch. She swept the floors, tended the fire, and kept it burning, though no warmth ever came. At night, she cried softly, calling her sister's name through the darkness. But when Alina did not return, fear crept into her heart. She searched the village, asked travelers for news, and even walked to the edge of the forest. But no one had seen her sister. Alina was not like Elaine. She did not believe in tales of wild witches, nor in false magic. Instead, she placed her faith in love, hope, and her own hands. So she baked a special bread, one filled with strength and protection. As she kneaded the dough, flowers bloomed around her, and she tucked them gently into her hair. Days passed in quiet determination. Then, one evening, she followed the faint trail of the witch's magic. At last, she found the hidden cottage deep within the woods. She tossed a small pouch of blessed herbs into the fireplace and waited. The smoke rose high, twisting through the air. And as it reached the night sky, the witch fell weak to the ground. Her power began to fade. Alina slipped quietly inside. "Elaine," she whispered, softly, "it's me." The two sisters fled together, through the dark forest, beneath a sky filled with stars, their hands clutching each other, their hearts guided by the sweet aroma of bread. When they reached home, their parents' eyes overflowed with joy. Their mother embraced Alina, tears shining in her eyes. "You saved your sister," she said softly, smiles, "my wise little one." Then she kissed her forehead. And peaceful days returned, until one morning, a royal announcement spread across the kingdom. The queen, who dearly loved sweets, declared a grand baking contest. "The one who creates the finest cake," she said, "shall live and bake in the royal palace." Alina's heart fluttered with excitement. Elaine turned to her sister, smiling. "We must join," she said. "If we win, We can open our own bakery, just like father's. And no magic will ever chain us again." Together, they baked their masterpiece. A cake woven with flowers and berries, soft as a dream, sweet as forgiveness. With time, Elaine and Alina grew wiser. They learned to measure each ingredient with care, and to mix their dough with stories. Just as their mother once did, when warmth and laughter filled their little kitchen. Soon, their bakery became a place of quiet magic. And when the day of the royal contest arrived, the grand palace shimmered with joy. People came from every corner of the kingdom, and the queen sat upon her silk throne, her eyes glowing with both light and longing. When she tasted the sisters' cake, she closed her eyes and smiled softly. "It feels like a memory," she whispered, "a sweetness I thought I had lost forever." The hall erupted in applause. Candles flickered like stars, and the queen stood, her voice warm and clear. "From this day forward, these sisters shall bake for the royal palace." And so, the castle became their home. Marble counters shone in the sunlight, and the gardens bloomed just beyond the kitchen windows. The royal bakery soon became a place of love, where the scent of sugar, butter, and joy drifted through every golden hallway. They turned the kitchen into a world of wonder, where every cake told a story, and every biscuit carried a wish. They taught the palace children how to bake, and for the elders, they made soft honey loaves, sprinkled with cinnamon and kindness. On special days, they created puddings so fragrant that those who tasted them were carried back to their happiest memories. Life was no longer simple. It was richer, wiser, filled with meaning. Alina began writing small stories in her notebook, sharing her recipes and lessons with gentle care. She would often say to the little ones, "Remember, my dear, a kind heart is precious, but a wise mind will guide it home." Every week, the sisters returned to their village. They sat by the old stove with their parents, drank tea, and laughed with Aaron, now grey and cheerful. He would smile and say, "You two have brought warmth not only to our home, but to the whole kingdom." One morning, as Alina decorated a cake with sugar flowers that sparkled like dew in the morning sun, a gentle voice called from the palace garden. It was the young prince, the queen's only son. He stopped near the bakery door, watching as Alina worked. And in that single moment, a new chapter of their story quietly began. The queen's only son, gentle in nature, wise and of simple temperament, was standing in the sunshine at the time. And then the grain and the wine fell on his cheeks, and there was a smile on his face, which the prince watched for a few moments. The prince said, "I think the most beautiful creation today is not this cake, but the one who created it." Alina smiled. Then the days came, sometimes to taste a new pastry, and sometimes just to speak with Alina. They both sat in the garden and talked about recipes. He smiled, and she smiled. Slowly, the prince's heart began to surrender. The one who was usually in control of everything found himself quietly lost and at peace. He realized the truth that purity does not mean perfection. One evening, there were flowers blooming in the garden of the palace, and in the sky, paper lamps floated gently. Princess Alina came close to the prince, offering him a taste of the cake. Then he bowed and said, "Will you be my wife? Will you pray with me and walk beside me for the rest of your life?" Surprise shone in Alina's eyes, a beautiful blend of shyness and joy. She nodded slowly, and the story became one of love and sweetness. Then, during the royal wedding, where the lights sparkled and laughter filled the air, the sweet aroma of cakes spread throughout the city. Elaine was proud. There was light in her eyes. Her sister was not only saved, she had created a beautiful life.